ID a couple of
About
times.
10 million times before you can get into your office.
If you because there's a little RFID chip in there.
Anywhere.
It opens the doors. Well, and sometimes you can't find it. Wouldn't it be great if rather than looking for this, you simply swiped your hand and it opened the door?
Speak for yourself, Steve Ducey.
There's a Wisconsin company that, see that little microchip that you would put in maybe your dog, if your dog is missing, you can find him. They're putting this in their employees, and they have 50 employees that have said, yeah, we'll do it. They put it in right here, Janice. Can we show this on camera? This looks very painful. Between your thumb and your forefinger, right there.
And they say, so if you buy a snack in the company workroom, they'll track it.
Swipe your
but
hand.
oddly, they also say it keeps your medical records in there. So who has
that's a possibility.
Can your company track you every move?
No, they say they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
They say they're not going to do that.
So if you're on the beach, they've got that microchip.
But it would open doors, allow you to use a copy machine, and even log onto your computer. Think about that. Rather than logging on thing, you just put your hand right there.
Is that something you would do, Steve?
Well, let's ask the folks out there. What do you think? Ron, would you? Well, he writes, the day I can install a chip in my body to buy snacks or open doors where I work, it's time to learn a new skill.
Jay on Twitter says, if someone wants to put a microchip under my skin, they had better bring the SWAT team with them.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. I like the idea of tracking your pets. You know, if you lose your pets.
Sure,
I don't
we
know
chipped
about
our dog. It was
human
very
beings.
effective.
Because you lost your dog and you could find your dog.
Where do they put it in your dog?
Right there, in the fleshy part of the neck.
Oh my
well, the dog it didn't bother the dog. I think that would be.
I would like to interview one of these employees.
That would provide you with an incredible amount of information. He talked to Bill O'Reilly about the possibilities of a library in your brain.
Sometime in the next century, because computer chips are getting smaller and faster, and eventually the time will come when a child is implanted with a little chip back here and will learn to control the chip in the same way that you learn to control your bodily functions and your voice and your movements, so that not only can you, right now my mind is telling my body to talk, and it's supplying my mouth with the words that I'm giving to you, and the mind could also learn to say to the chip, go to a certain web page, download some information, and supply it to the inside of my eyeballs.
You believe that you're going to be actually able to tell your mind through a chip to provide you with information that you can then speak. So on this program, this would be great for me. You put a little chip in there, and if I didn't know something, I could say to the chip, would I have to say it out loud or just think it?
Either way.
I could just think it, give me an answer.
Right now, we're loaded up with bionic stuff already. I'm wearing glasses. I have fillings in my teeth. This is a wristwatch. I'm wearing clothing, which allows me to adjust to the climate as I go outside. So it's obviously only a matter of time until convergence allows us to match the number one tool of the next century, and that would be the computer chip. I mean,
okay, so the
clothes are
computer
tools,
chip,
glasses are tools.
Sure, but all of these are external. The computer should be in you, and that's what frightens me.
Well,
see,
it could be in you, or it could be wherever you wanted it to be. And it would allow you to make telephone calls without having a cell phone, allow you to surf the web without having to monitor.
Well, show me how. So if I had a chip embedded in my head, I could make a telephone call by
you could just start talking.
Call Mom?
Yeah.
And Mom would be, and I could talk to her?
And then you would just say, hello, Mom.
I wouldn't have a phone or anything.
No. And so you'd have to have some body language so people would know what you were doing. Let's say you're standing at the American Airlines terminal.
Yeah.
And you're calling the Advantage desk and saying, I've missed my flight. Do you have any seats at 10 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're standing there saying that, somebody's going to look at you like you're one of these crazy...
But not if everybody had the chip, they'd all know what was going on?
Well, but you would do this.
Right. You
go
there with a little phone.
This means I'm not just talking to myself, I'm talking on the phone.
This
and then
sounds so...
If you're reading the web on the inside of your eyeballs...
Yeah.
It would look rude to people. It would look like I'm staring straight through you. But I'm not staring straight through you. I'm looking at the Fox News webpage, right? Mm-hmm. So how do I want people to know that? I would just go like this. You know,
so you're going to have a whole sign language thing of what we're doing. This sounds so unbelievable.
If I'm downloading information...
but it's true. It could happen, right?
Well, you see, my article is half serious and it's half satirical. I don't know which half is half, though, because... things are converging so quickly, and computers are already such an amazing tool.
But we've checked it out a little further than your article, and the scientists tell us that it is absolutely true and absolutely possible for a human being to have a chip embedded in their system and to have many, many things appear in their mind upon command. So you would say, I need to know the name of the 18th president. Bing.
Not only that, I meet you and I call up your credit report while we're talking.
We thought Bill O'Reilly already had.
Maybe sitting in our hands, literally.
That's because some people are getting microchips implanted in their hands. And those chips might be tiny, but their potential is huge.
I mean, you can't even see it really. It's just little, it's like a little grain of rice right inside there. You kind of see the bump in the light?
That bump is a microchip that tattoo artist Aaron had implanted in his hand.
Getting stuck with a needle isn't pleasant. I mean, there's no question there, but it's not bad. It's easier than giving blood.
He also put a magnet in the other side of his hand for fun. The chip is known as a radio frequency identification device. Aaron uses it for more practical purposes.
I can load a link to any website on there. I can load a message. I can load a phone number. I can load a contact. So it's limitless, and it depends on, I guess, what you do, either professionally or socially, what you would want to have on there.
So, who wants to get started?
Showtime Networks profiled several people around the world who are using these implanted microchips in their everyday life.
That was quite a cool feeling to see that I could connect with another device. And, well, that, I guess, makes me kind of a device as well.
The device is like one you might have put into your family dog. A scan of the chip identifies the owner. People with these implants could swipe their hand over a scanner to get into a building. It could store a security code to unlock a cell phone or keep your credit card information. Implanting the chip is a relatively minor procedure done by making a small incision in the hand. But doctors warn these implants come with health risks.
So there's always worry of infection. I'd say that's probably the #1 risk. There are other things that can happen also. You know, local reactions, the device can move. It can be implanted into a place that's unsafe, for example, where there's some nerves or arteries. So I think it has to be done in the right context.
There are people now keeping credit card information in the chips, and they use their hand just to pay for things. They don't have to carry anything when they leave the house.
Tattoo artist and body piercer Gentle J. Blundell is considering getting one to help in his business.
It's amazing. I mean, we're living literally in the future.
The FDA has approved the first radio frequency device for human use in the U.S. despite the potential medical problems. There's also the issue of security. Experts say your hand could be hacked, electronically hacked. That is, just in case you're thinking you're going to lose your hand mark. The chips are not encrypted, so the information could be put out and at your risk.